Good morning and welcome to the Tuesday morning show where ASI's most outspoken editors talk promo products. I'm Andy Cohen, editor of Counselor Magazine, and we have a great show planned for you today. It is hot, hot, hot outside, isn't it there, Michelle Bell?
Oh my God, somebody just sent me an email of a kitty in a Superman outfit. We're going to post it online. I'll send it to you. Is that not the cutest little thing? Look, he's a kitty, but he's got a cape.
But he's also like standing
He's
up on
super
2
kitty.
feet. That is not, that's Photoshop
All right,
to
let's
the
go.
nth degree.
Vinny, you're going to post this on our website here.
We will post the latest version of Photoshop
Can I go
on
home
our
now?
website.
Can I go home now?
As I called it last week when they were taking my photo, I said, you better power shop this.
Like power wash?
Yeah.
Power Shop.
Yeah.
Kathy Houston is with us this morning, not the most technological person in the world. Never heard of Photoshop even. Joe Haley, how are you?
Yeah, I'm terrific, Andy. I'm cool, because we're outside in the air conditioner.
You are cool.
You
Hot,
even have a
hot.
jacket on.
I know.
Joe's so cold he's got a jacket on, although Joe will wear a jacket at the drop of a hat during the summer. So
Well,
don't let that
it-
fool you into thinking it's actually
It
cold
hides the
in here.
rolls. And by rolls, I don't mean Kaisers.
Wow, we've jumped off to
It
an
has a
interesting
slimming
start
effect.
here this morning.
He just looks so purposeful.
Oh, God, it's a cat already.
You know, we could probably really amp up the viewership if we just posted
Cat
photos
That's
of
true.
cats.
This
That's
is your editor
really
of
true.
SGR.
It
This
seems
is your editor of SGR.
It seems to really excite and energize people. All right. Well, we are getting ready to take your calls today regarding how you can get top 40 level service from suppliers, even if you are a small distributor. Give us a ring if you have any questions or comments about that at 215-953-4979. And Joe, if we put you on the air, what will we give them?
Well, first of all, you get to talk to Facebook Vinny Driscoll, who is manning the phone lines, and you'll hear sound effects from Lauren Medina.
Aww.
Wait, did that cat have a Superman outfit?
Kitty.
Anyway,
It's
if
all
we-
kitty show.
If we put you on the air, we'll give you the prize pack, which is the $25 Visa gift card, the finger puppets, the hand fans, and, of course, you'll get the logo drinkware from our friends at ETS.
Very nice. All right, on this all Superman cat episode of the ASI Radio Show, Joe, what else is on tap?
Well, we've got meow, meow, meow. And hey, we're going to look at millennials. They're driving the leisure travel industry. Michelle's going to tell us why. We're also going to look at 4 things leaders get wrong about creativity. We have 9 work habits you need to stop today. 4 tips for attracting top-notch interns. We also have some other things on our docket, including our favorite things. But let's start it all off with the industry news in 60 seconds. Andy?
All right, thank you, Joe. We begin this morning with shipping news. Despite the ongoing threat of a strike, nearly 20,000 West Coast dock workers will stay on the job even without a new labor deal, negotiators said in their most recent public statement. The current agreement expired on July 1, but the union representing the workers says they'll stay on as long as the two sides are negotiating. Check out Promogram today for details. On to the latest with American Apparel and Dove Charney. Now, the company has come to an agreement with New York investment firm Standard General to raise new financial support that would help to pay off a looming loan. The deal gives Standard General, which owns the voting rights to 43% of American Apparel shares, the ability to nominate 5 new members to the company's board. Still unclear is if ousted CEO Dove Charney will play any future role in American Apparel's operations. General economic news now, a large percentage of small business owners are reporting a successful first half of the year, with even more of them optimistic about the rest of 2014, according to a new survey from Manta. A full 83% of business owners expect their company's prospects to continue to brighten over the next 6 months. And finally, make sure to check out the latest episode of The Joe Show and Promogram today. Joe, what is hot for today?
Small wonders, Andy.
Small wonders?
Small wonders.
Like Joe Haley.
Like the kitty.
Things you could fit in your pocket, say?
Yes.
Or
exactly.
a purse or
Yes.
wallet even? Maybe.
Maybe. These are
All
small
right.
products that pack a big promotional punch.
Okay. Make sure to check that out and so much more in Counselor Promogram today. All right, we're going to go to the phone lines now to take your questions about how you can get great service from suppliers, even if you are a small distributor. Let's start on line 2 where we have Connie. Connie, how are you today?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Doing great. What is your question for the host?
Well, I basically am just going off what you just said. I'm a small distributor, but I do a decent, steady business, and I was just, looking for any tips for ways I can get the same kind of service and pricing as the big guys.
Michelle? What do you think? What say you from the world of suppliers?
I think it's going to be tough to get the same kind of pricing if you're a small guy compared to a top 40 company because of the sheer volume that the top 40s do. But I think there are other ways that you can get preferred service and perks. And I think if suppliers love dealing with distributors who do creative promos. They love that. They love being able to kind of flex their creative muscle. So if you do self-promo campaigns, they love working with distributors who do that. They'll give you all sorts of special discounts and breaks on that. Also, and this is going to sound really kind of rote, but I think a lot of distributors might not think of doing it. Suppliers love to get gifts of their own. Typically, suppliers give distributors samples and gifts. How nice is it and how surprising for them when they get thank you notes back from distributors and like a little tin of candy or something like that. I did a panel once of all suppliers, and they all said that they, even something that small, like a tin of candy, they will go over and above for that distributor, regardless of someone who may spend a lot with them, because they are so rarely recognized on a one-to-one level. Like, thank you so much for
that's true.
for going over and above for me.
Interesting. Connie, I'd also add that suppliers, many suppliers don't like to just look at their business as like an order factory. They want to help you help your clients. So they want to be consulted as well, just like you do from your clients. They want to be consulted about what kind of upcoming campaigns you have. And if you're treating the relationship as more of a partnership where it's kind of almost a consultative type of thing, then they're more apt to give you a higher level of service, knowing that you're partnering with them as opposed to just placing an order at the last second when you need it.
Andy, and I think that dovetails to having a preferred supplier list. Have a cap supplier that all your cap orders go to, whatever. And it might be a supplier that offers a variety of different product categories, but have a preferred vendor list. And the more business you can send them, even though it might not be the volume of a larger distributorship, at least you have that loyalty built in there.
And let them know that they are your preferred vendor.
I prefer you.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, Connie, well, hang on the line, and hopefully that helps, and give Vinny your information so we can get you that Visa gift card. Okay, let's go to line 3 where we have Andrea on the line. Andrea, how are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. What is your question for the hosts?
Well, I'm another small distributor, and I have a problem sometimes where I will go to trade shows and I'll be talking to a supplier, and then they'll just cut the conversation short when they see someone, from a bigger distributorship come to their booth. So I'm just wondering, how I can level the playing field.
Not cool. I would say don't work with that supplier.
I agree.
Go ahead, Michelle.
Well, first of all, I hate people. What that tells me is that supplier is not really focusing on you with their complete attention. They're looking for who's better coming in the booth. It's like when you're talking to someone at a cocktail party and they're always looking past you to see who else is coming in the room. I would totally call them out on it. Yeah. Because you don't know. I mean, I remember one of the Leeds guys telling me one time, Steve Galertner from Leeds, telling me that, he did a sales call one time on a distributor, and she worked out of her house. And it was not a particularly palatial house, and he was just like, oh, this is going to be a really small order. And the woman turned out to order like $100,000 a year worth of stuff. You just can't tell. Right. So you can't base it on what, somebody's a quote-unquote small distributor. Yeah, you don't know what their potential is.
Yeah, small today, big tomorrow. You never know.
Absolutely, yeah. I would say that I've talked to many suppliers who are concerned at trade shows over some distributors that just want to get scanned so they can get sent a catalog, or just want to pick up a free sample or a catalog and put it into their basket. I'm assuming, Andrea, that's not the type of distributor you are, nor the type of conversations you're having with suppliers. That's the key, is that as long as you're having reasonable and in-depth conversations with suppliers, if anybody is overlooking that conversation, then I would move on. There are plenty of suppliers to choose from, and many in every category. So I would caution against that. All right, Andrea, thanks for the call, and hang on the line so we can get your information for your ASI Radio prize pack. On line 4, we have Stanley. Stanley, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. What is your question or comment for the hosts on this lovely Tuesday morning?
Well, my question and comment is, I find that before I was associated with any of the larger distributorships, I found that going to the shows and trying to have the conversations with the vendors and taking them aside to where they weren't being interrupted. It is true. People have the worst social skills at the shows. They'll interrupt a conversation and without even blinking an eye. But I find that at the shows, would you agree that if you go to the show and you actually ask for what you want and you let them know who you are or who you're not, hey, I'm not a big distributor work with me and help me with pricing, I found that a lot of them will actually they'll give you end column pricing at like for a trial period. If you prove yourself, they'll come up to match. And I find that sometimes you get more out of going to the shows than just trying to call a vendor over the phone.
Yeah,
what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that that's right. I think that that's spot on. I think it's always good just to be honest with them and say, hey, just give me a chance. I'll give you a chance, and let's see if the relationship, flourishes. I like what you said, Stanley, and I've actually seen you do this at the SAC show, where you kind of lead a supplier out of their booth and kind of pull them away into the aisle so you can have a one-on-one conversation with them, which I think is great if you want to have, a more in-depth conversation more than just, can you scan me?
Yeah, I would agree. I like I alluded to with the previous caller, suppliers certainly are wary of that scan and go crowd, which, honestly, it exists, and they should be wary of that. But if you're making clear to them that you're trying to have a legitimate conversation and you're bringing up a specific client or a specific promotion that you're trying to do research for, then they can know that you're trying to have a little bit more of an in-depth conversation, and I think that goes a long way for sure at trade shows.
At trade shows, Bob Lederer at Primeline, he used to do education at trade shows. And one of the things he talked about for suppliers, don't treat it like a school day. At the end of the day, 3 o'clock, there's, show floors, closed, and you pack up your stuff and you leave out. He says there's people at the back of the hall that have to make their way up front, and they don't start closing up anything until they know everyone has come through, and he's willing to sit there and talk to people. So there are suppliers out there that will talk to you after show hours, still on the show floor, so they might not get as many interruptions because people are ready to get the heck out of there. So
very nice. All right,
end of the day.
Stanley, well, very good comment and question today. Thanks for your call. And Michelle, I understand we had some comments on this topic on our Facebook page. What did they have to say?
We do. We have one from Ryan Schad, who says, choose a core group of suppliers and let them know that you are their go-to suppliers. Most will bend over backwards for you if they know you're loyal. And David Garthwaite says, to get the best service from suppliers, he and the people at his company follow these rules. Limit the suppliers. Sure, there are those special items. For the most part, they work with a dozen or so suppliers who cover 90% of their needs, which I think is smart. Make purchases orders clear and precise. Don't level anything to question, or don't leave anything to question or interpretation. Promote your suppliers' products, post their flyers, and use their catalogs. Finally, ask what it takes to get the best deals and services. Most suppliers will give you EQP or NCP if you just ask.
Yeah, I think that those are really good points. And that I didn't say it with our first caller about pricing, but that just asking point that our Facebook commenter said, it's really key. No, they're not looking to just give away the store at the drop of a hat, but if, like we're talking about here this morning, if they know that you are a dedicated distributor and you have clients that are trying to plan for promotions in the summer and in the fall and in the winter, they know that you're going to be buying from them, then they are more apt to give you deals. So asking and kind of making your presence known to them in a way better than just scan and go and can you send me your latest catalog is something that's rather important. So make sure to do that. All right. Well, we are going to head to our, sorry, I thought we don't have Leighton on the line, right?
We don't. Not as of yet.
Okay. So we're going to head to a break now to hear from our sponsor, Hanes. But when we get back, we'll give a preview of next week's Counselor Best Places to Work conference.
Hanes branded printwear has a new website designed specifically for screen printers and promotional product distributors. HanesInc.com features detailed product information and resources to help you make the most of Hanes t-shirts and fleece. For the first time, you can download high-res front and back holos of every product in every color in the format and resolution you need. Apparel pages are organized by color and product line, so you can easily find exactly what you're looking for. In addition to high-res holos, you will also find helpful sales tips on every product page. Each product is assigned a helpful return on investment scenario to illustrate the untapped return potential for you and your customers in every interaction. In our resources section, a dedicated return on investment page provides additional questions and insight to help you better understand how to meet your customers' needs with better products and better guidance. Visit HanesInc.com today for high-res holos, sales tips, and many more resources.
All right, welcome back to the Tuesday morning show where we've been discussing how you can get top 40 level service from suppliers, even if you're a small distributor. If you have any further questions on that or comments, give us a ring at 215-953-4979. We're going to head back to the phones now before we discuss next week's Counselor Best Place to Work conference and hear from Leighton Lee from ETS Express with our product safety minute of this week. Leighton, how are you today?
I'm doing well. A little cooler than you folks back east because we're having a little bit of a June gloom a little late, so we got overcast weather. But it's nice and cool today. Anyways, that was a really good segment. I'm glad I was on hold during that whole time because I got to listen to that segment about supplier and distributor and quality of service. Great segment. My segment this morning is about food. And no, we're not talking about Food Channel or Food Network or anything like that. We're talking about genetically modified food, GMO for short, which technically stands for genetically modified organisms. The state of Vermont recently passed a new bill that goes into effect July 1, 2016. So we got a couple of years to deal with this. But I know a whole bunch of us in our world deal with prepackaged foods, promotional foods, and so forth. So I thought this would be a worthwhile topic for this morning. The Vermont statute is a labeling statute, meaning that you're going to have to label all food items that are sold or distributed in the state of Vermont with a particular disclosure that this item, this product, is partially or entirely made of GMO or genetically engineered food product or ingredients. Well, that puts a real cramp on our industry because we never know in our industry, as we know. We never know where our products are going. So the liability stands to about $1,000 a day per product as a penalty. So distributors and suppliers can really get into some hot soup, much like Cal Prop 65. Which we talked ad nauseum over the years here. But what do we do in our industry? We have a choice of either labeling our products, which for a state of Vermont is ranked number 49 out of 50 states for total population and has 0.002% of the U.S. population living in Vermont. And we're going to all have to relabel our products just to meet the needs of one little. So,
yeah, I'm sensing. I'm sensing.
I'm sorry for my editorial
condemnation about the state of Vermont.
I'm trying to be as objective here as possible.
We apologize to all of our listeners in Vermont.
But I have to share that I find that this regulation is rather I don't know. It's a little out there. Now, the states of Maine and Connecticut are also trying to pass regulations to a similar effect, but they have a trigger clause, meaning that two or three other states have to also pass similar statutes in order to get those two states to pass their regulation. So either we relabel or we don't sell to Vermont, or we put a label that said not for sale or distribution in Vermont, or the safest approach is to ensure through your suppliers that the product that you are sourcing does not contain GMO ingredient. So have a great week. I hope everybody stays safe and cool back east, and we'll talk next week.
Thank you, Leighton. I hope that the birds don't get there. The birds seem to be attacking your house.
Yeah, thank you. I'm looking for the Super Kitty photo later.
So maybe they were upset with the Vermont comments as well. All right, Leighton, thanks for the call.
Thanks, Leighton.
All right, Michelle, Joe, and I will be heading next week to ASI Chicago, as well as at the end of the week next week, the Counselor Best Places to Work conference, which gets a bunch of companies together to talk about traits and best practices of best places to work companies in the ad specialty industry. And we'll all be moderating some sessions there. Michelle, what will you be doing?
I am going to be talking to Chuck Fandos, who's the CEO of Gateway, CDI. Mm-hmm. We're going to be talking about how to empower your employees to work with Fortune 500 clients, which, of course, are a little more have different expectations of service and perhaps a little more needy, and what do you allow your employees to work with them? And I'll also be interviewing Cindy Jorgensen from Brown & Bigelow, who's the VP of Sales. And if you know Cindy from Minnesota, you know that she loves to, she's very social, and she's very gregarious and outgoing. So we're going to be talking about how to use happy hours to both build relationships with clients and employees.
Oh, that sounds like a good session.
Yeah.
Will there be cocktails?
Yes, because that's the last one of the day.
That's the last session of the day that we all look forward to. Joe, what will you be doing?
Well, I'll be moderating a panel that has Jim Malkus on. He's from Indorf in St. Louis, and we're going to be talking about...
They do some fun stuff there.
They do, and that's what we're going to be talking about. Healthy competition among employees.
Yeah.
It gives employees an opportunity to do fun things, compete against each other, and what that does for morale and how that helps productivity. When we were out there last year, they had a pumpkin carving contest that they all totally got into, and it was a lot of fun.
The competition was fierce.
And then we were able to sit there and see the energy, and we're actually the judges too. I'm also going to be with Jeff and Tiki Hall of New Clients in Richmond, Virginia. We're going to be talking about managing growth and how to do that in a fun way. And again, that was our third stop on our very first road tour. And the cool thing about that is they greet us at their front door of their business with ice cold beers. New client.
There is nothing wrong with that.
There was nothing wrong with that. That was great.
No.
And then we had a barbecue-themed Hawaiian luau, which was
also
a lot of
nothing
fun
wrong with
too.
that.
No, nothing wrong with that. So we ate good and we drank good.
We were reminiscing about that
So
yesterday.
two good panels there.
Very cool, and I will be kicking off the day with an interview with Jason Lauritsen, who works at Quantum Workplace, which is the company that administers our Best Places to Work survey. The companies that are that take part in our survey have to survey their employees with a in-depth 37-question survey. Jason works at the company that creates that, and we're going to be talking about how to hire and retain top talent. A very interesting topic today, which he has some interesting thoughts on that I'm sure will be unique for the crowd to hear. So we'll have coverage of that in Counselor Program and Counselor Magazine. Make sure to check that out. And next week's ASI show, Chicago, and Counselor Best Places to Work Road Tour. All right, Michelle, I understand millennials. Not millennials.
But millennials.
Yeah, I put Michelle and millennials together.
Really?
In many ways. I understand that there we go again. Oh, my gosh. Every time I say that word, I will now think of you.
Are you having like an aneurysm or something?
I think I am. Anyway, you know what? Take it away.
Okay. So of all the generational groups, millennials are traveling most for leisure. Not millennials. Millennials are traveling the most for leisure. And here's why. Millennials would rather spend their money on experiences than material things. So not only are they taking more vacations, frequency-wise, they're spending longer time on their vacations. So last year, they spent about $4,500 on vacations, and that's up $900 from the previous year. And that's more than any other generational group. And it's interesting because not only will they'll just take the time. They just want to use their vacation time. So not only will they go, out of the country or to Caribbean islands, they'll also take staycations and go within a 50-mile radius of their house. They just want to experience different things. So to target this group, some ideas, millennials love tech items. So maybe, USB drives with itineraries downloaded on them. Something like that. But this survey says that we'll post online. This shows no signs of slowing, that this is truly the one group. Other groups have actually gone down. Gen Xers actually are spending less on vacations, weirdly. But this is the one group that continues to spend more and more. So
I'm not sure how well travel and hospitality companies are marketing to that sector.
I don't think it's a weird thing. Younger people not tied down with, families and stuff. Yeah, Generation X are coming into their own, having families and stuff, so they might put off their travel. Joe. Oh, I know. Well, you got the cats. You got the cats. And the cat sitter. Do you have a cat sitter?
Yes.
Do you get daily updates when you're...
I do.
Do you get pictures?
I do.
Operation Tummy Rub?
I do.
See, that's the weirdness we have to live with in here.
We really need to move on. Wow.
So target millennials when it comes to the travel market.
All right, check that out on our website at asicentral.com/radio. Okay, Kathy, 4 things leaders get wrong about creativity. What is that all about?
Well, it says here that leaders are clueless when it comes to creativity and how to bring it into their company culture.
They have to bring the fun?
They have to bring the fun. Well, you just visited all those best places to
did.
work, people. So anyway, allegedly, we think it's do what you feel like when actually it's a practice creativity that has to be embedded into the culture of the organization. There has to be a deliberate, distinctive choice to allow people to bring that creativity to work. And this woman recommends that you think of jazz musicians. They know the music theory. They practice religiously. They know the progressions, but they have moments where they just go off and do their own thing, but then they get back together and it all works.
I think that people think that creativity just happens,
Right.
and it doesn't. I think that you have
It
to work on
doesn't.
it in a company.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
mentioned the best place to work companies. They spend time and money. I would say trying to foster creativity, and they do it by the way that their company looks. Almost, the things that are on the wall and the way that the layout of the offices are and the cubicles are. A lot of thought is put into how that fosters creativity and teamwork.
Exactly. Another group that she recommends looking at is nursery school kids, and she talks about this theory of creative abrasion, that it takes different type of people. Like, people want to work with people of the same mindset, but really bring different people from different groups together, and you'll get more creativity. She talks about how nursery school kids will hang out with anybody and then move on to the next group and get
Right.
along with everybody. So that's another thing.
Until they hit you in the head with a block.
Exactly, or bite you. Like Andy.
Yeah.
I've never been anybody, I don't think. So it's essentially what we can learn from nursery school students.
And jazz musicians.
That's
right.
All right, check that out on our website right now at ASI Central, or after the show at asicentral.com/radio. Joe?
I read a study once on creativity, and they had a couple of different focus groups, and they went into these business people, and the moderator on the board just put a dot there and asked everyone what it was, and the only answer they can come up with is a dot on the board. He went to a preschool and did that. They come up with 60 different things that it could be, because their mind is so open, not so closed. So
Right.
And they don't have that filter, which essentially stops them from being embarrassed by saying something.
Right, they don't care about being embarrassed.
If you don't like my idea, too bad.
Right.
I'll hit you in the head with a block.
I'll hit you in the head with a block. Very good. All right, Joe, I can't wait to hear about this topic. 9 work habits you need to stop
wait to
today.
hear it.
Do they apply to us?
Let's see if any of these apply to
Yeah,
us.
probably some of them do. It says these are all time wasters and stuff. Do not answer calls from unrecognized numbers.
I don't do that.
I don't either.
Yeah, I do. I answer and it's all these telemarketing. I don't know why
Well,
they,
duh.
I
Stop doing it.
hate that. Well, here at work, you don't know. You don't know if a supplier's calling you, or a distributor's calling you. So they said the reason why
No,
for
but they'll leave a message.
Right. For a salesperson, you don't want to do that because it interrupts your flow. It throws your concentration off. And the problem is the person knows why they're calling you. You have no clue why they're calling you. I got your syndrome here, Andy. I can't speak. So therefore, you can't go into that conversation prepared. You're better off having some type of identifying, thing. You can find it on Google Voice or phone tag, and if you know who it is, you pick up the phone. If not, they can leave an answer. Then you're better prepared to deal with them when you call them back.
Right.
Do not agree to meetings or calls with no clear agenda or end time. I hate when I get those meeting requests. It's like, well, what specifically do you want to meet about? Am I going to come in up someplace and be ambushed with something? Can I bring some supporting materials if I need that? So it's like, do not do that. If the desired outcome is defined clearly and there's an agenda listing topics, questions to cover, no meeting or call should last more than 30 minutes. So in other words, you should be able to get in
I would agree
and
with that.
out very quickly. Do not carry a digital lease 24/7.
What?
A digital, at least one day a week, leave your smartphone somewhere you can't get easy access to it. If you're gasping, you're probably the type of person that most needs to kick this particular habit.
Michelle?
Do not make yourself
Yeah.
available 24/7. And do not expect...
Michelle is available 24/7. You break that
I do.
that habit.
And then finally, this is the last one I'll give you. Do not expect work to fill a void that non-work relationships and activities should. So in other words, plan time from your family and your friends and to do things that aren't work-related, and don't let work get in the way. Years ago, there was a distributor who hadn't taken a vacation in 7 years, working 7 days a week. Wow. Her fiance finally said, that's it, we're going on vacation. They went on a cruise, and what did she do? She sold the cruise line napkins. She couldn't leave work alone, and so
That's all right. She
don't
made a
do
sale
that.
while on
Don't-
vacation. That's
don't
not the
do
worst
that.
thing in the world.
So well, anyway, we're gonna post all 9 of these on asicentral.com/radio.
All right, make sure to check that out after the show. Okay, we have just enough time for our favorite things. Michelle, why don't you lead us off?
Mine is from All-in-One, which is ASI 34256, and it is something called My Buds, and it's little logoed earbuds. And, think of, earbuds. You can just put logos on the outside. It's really cute.
How about Washington and Colorado for
My Buds?
My Bud promotion?
Yeah, that's a good idea,
right.
Joe. I see what you did there.
Yeah, I see what you did there, too. It comes in a cute little case, but it's not only the case that can be logoed, it's the buds as well.
Very cool. Joe, what do you have?
This is called the Doohickey, but the emphasis on key.
Emphasis
It's
on
a little mini multi-tool product. It has a screwdriver, a box cutter, a bottle opener. It's got a little ruler on there. It's got 3 different size wrenches.
It's got a box cutter in there?
Box cutter right here.
It's got a ruler?
This edge, yeah, it's a little 2-inch ruler.
2-inch ruler.
It's got a little carabiner clip. No, this is a great little
I like
thing.
that.
First of all, it's TSA friendly, so you can take it with you on the airport. You go to the trade show.
You can take a box cutter on the plane?
You can take this one. It's TSA friendly. So it's
Oh,
great
that's
for people who
good
got
to
to go set up their booths. How you open those boxes if you don't have a box cutter? It's got a carabiner clip. You can put on your backpack, on a belt loop. It's great for people who like the outdoors, who go biking, who go camping, who go fishing, who go hunting. You can find this at Compass Industries, Inc., ASI 46170. Find them online at compasspromos.com.
Kathy, you're up.
Yes, mine is a bling mirror tumbler from Bernie Carp Inc. You can take a sip of your drink and then reapply your lipstick right in the rhinestone
Something
framed
that
mirror.
Joe needs to do all the time.
Exactly.
Or you could say what you say to yourself each morning.
You're adorable. That's right. After your coffee, just look in that mirror that's right on front of the tumbler and say it.
And on that note, we are unfortunately out of time for today's show. Thank you to our show sponsor, Haynes. Thanks for listening. And tune in again next week when we'll give a live report from the ASI show Chicago. Have a great week, everybody.